Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Mystery, a real-world IRL mystery. Okay, here we go. All right, is there a Dungeons & Dragons design team 5th Edition designer who is either already a millionaire or who will be a millionaire? So let me paint the picture for you. I have recently found out about this new card that exists, a Magic the Gathering super collectible. Now, that's my name for it, okay? This is a really strange, so I'll give you the short of it, okay? Magic Gathering it's the most powerful collectible card game in the world. It's played by millions of people. People love it. All right, so you got all that, right? Here's what's next. You have the situation I just talked. So Magic the Gathering made an incredibly strange card, 4 of them, 4 copies in 2018. They made a card called they called it Planeswalker. It's called Dungeon. Actually, the title of the card is Dungeon Master. It is the Magic the Gathering Dungeon Master. Okay, it is a Magic the Gathering Dungeon Master card, which is a Planeswalker card. There are only 4 of these cards in existence. From what I've been able to learn, what they said is they made these cards as a celebration, and they gave these special collectible cards out to 5th edition design team members. We don't know who. All right, so all that happened. Now, when that happened, it is my belief that this card is worth between $1 and $10 million. Why? Well, first of all, if you own a Black Lotus from Magic the Gathering, an Alpha Black Lotus in mint condition, you could sell that right now, cash on the barrel, for $40,000. Okay? But there's hundreds of them. There are hundreds, if not over 1,000 Black Lotuses in the world right now. Okay? By the way, just bragging a little, I owned multiple Black Lotuses. I sold Black Lotuses 6 years after the game came out. I sold in 1999, and I sold again in like 2003, right? I bought a car for our family with what I made from those cards, and the second time I bought my wife diamond earrings, right? So I'm telling you, there's some money there, okay? And the last, that was 18 years ago, right? But you can sell Black Lotuses for 40 grand right now. Now, I will tell you right now, Black Lotus, you can wipe your butt with it, right? Because that doesn't compare to a Magic the Gathering collectible crossover, right? A Magic the Gathering collectible crossover that mixes 3 things. It mixes Magic the Gathering, which is one of the greatest collectible engines in the world, okay? And it mixes D&D, and it mixes the 1983-1985 American Saturday morning cartoon Dungeon Master, okay? So this is Saturday morning cartoons in America. That's a big thing. A lot of nostalgia around that. Dungeons & Dragons, that's a big thing. MTG, that's a big thing. And the rarity is through the roof. There's only 4 of these things in the world. So that means, in my opinion, that one of the design leads has either already sold their Magic the Gathering card for $1 to $10 million, or they'll be able to when they retire. When they leave, they'll be able to sell it when they leave D&D. And when they leave Wizards of the Coast, right? Now, here's the other thing, okay? They can't really openly sell this thing now because arguably this design, whoever this person is, there's 4 of them. Whoever they are, they're still with Wizards of the Coast, and it would be an embarrassment to sell this now. Plus, they have a job right now. They don't really need to sell it, right? So they don't have any need to sell, right, at this point. And they may have already sold it on a backdoor sale. Now, you're like, Scott, who's going to buy a card for $1 to $10 million? I can tell you who, right? Joe Manganiello, right? Dude played Deathstroke in the Justice League and in the Batman versus Superman, and he was in Rampage with The Rock, right? So that guy's got $1 million. And if he don't, guess what? His wife, Sofia Vergara, who's collecting massive checks from Modern Family, who definitely has the money, right? So they could drop $1 to $10 million on this, and that's just one dude, right? We're not talking about all the Silicon Valley D&D, heads or a million other collectors worldwide that would very much want this. And we haven't even talked about just smart investors, right? This collectible is incredibly rare, and it's a super crossover collectible. So this is super bizarre, right? So I'm convinced that one of the 5th edition design leads, right, one or more, 1 to 4 of them, are either already a millionaire because they sold this card on the back burner, or they will soon be a millionaire when they sell it. And you're like, well, wait a second, Scott. Like, how is, are you sure about this? Could they really do this? Could they sell it for, millions and millions of dollars? Yeah, the answer is absolutely yes, right? They could absolutely sell this for millions of dollars and make a fortune, right? And I think they definitely will. Now, why is this important? Well, I'll tell you right now. I used to think that if you worked in tabletop role-playing games, you probably make less than $100K because there's a million people who want your job, so they don't need to pay well because there's a conga line of people who want this work, right? So I really thought, if you make tabletop role-playing games for a living, you probably make less than me. And I'll tell you right now, the vast majority of people who make tabletop role-playing games for a living make less than me, right? I know a dude who owns a tabletop role-playing game company, and it's his side gig. Actually, I know like 4 people who it's their side gig, right? It is bad business. You do not make a lot, with tabletop role-playing games. You just don't, period. But we now know there's a distinct possibility that you can go write tabletop role-playing games and come out a millionaire. That's a big deal. We really didn't know that before, right? Now I think we know it, that there's a high probability, right, that if you go in and you work for Wizards of the Coast, that there is not a high probability, there is a probability that you can come out with experiences, with friendships, and specifically with objects that could be worth millions, right? I think that's a very real thing. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.